Welcome in, Braves Today, bravestoday.com. It's all brought to you by Active Wealth Management. Go to annuity360.net for your free book. Special pod for you today because Chris Sale is a Brave. Vaughn Grissom is not. Now he will be on the Red Sox squad. Here's what we know thus far. First off, if you've got your takes of whether you like the trade, you don't like the trade, a lot of people have been calling for Grissom to be used for pitching to get that trade. I'm kind of with you when I look at it and I wonder, is this the guy that we want? 34 years of age. He is a 7-time All-Star. He does have a career ERA just over 3. I think it's 3.1, something like that. Hit 13 seasons, though, in the major leagues. And he is a lefty. So the Braves are going to get that lefty they talked about. Of course, he's been with the White Sox, been with the Red Sox as of late. He has had some interesting years the last couple of years because, well, let's just call it what it is. Here's the bad part of it. His health has been an issue. He has under 150 innings combined since 2019. He's had Tommy John surgery. He's had a broken finger he's had to have restructured. He's had a rib injury. He's only had 102 2/3 of those 150 innings were last season. However, he's made 20 starts for the Red Sox, 6-5 record. But here's the deal also, 4.3 ERA. And you want to know some of the bad part about that is projections right now. According to Baseball Reference, when they look at what a player's supposed to do as far as the next season in 2024, at the age of 35, which he will be this next year, they're projecting him to go 7-6 with a 4.34 ERA. So a little bit about what you saw from the Red Sox. Here's the difference. The Braves lineup. That is the huge difference of everything. Not to mention, money is a big deal with this. This deal, according to rumors, and $17 million will go to the Braves for Vaughn Grissom, who is all that we have to give up. Everybody kept saying, you're going to have to give up some minor league pitching. That's not necessarily true. And if true, according to Lindsay Crosby, he says Atlanta is paying Sale $10.5 for 2024, and then that $20 million 2025 option that might automatically vest depending on his health as well as his performance. So Chris Sale, now a Brave, 34 years of age, 343 appearances over 13 major league seasons with the White Sox and Red Sox, went 120-80 with a 3.10 ERA, 2018 World Series champion as well with Boston, finishing among the top 6 in the American League Cy Young Award voting each season from 2012 to 2018. That ain't the guy we're getting, but we are getting a lefty. And I do think that his health is probably where it needs to be at this point. So is it an overall great trade? I think it's a fantastic trade. And the reason being is because everybody in Atlanta gets their wish of getting rid of Grissom, which everybody kept saying that they wanted to do because he's just not going to work out. He can't decide if he can be an infielder because he doesn't have the glove to do so. They've put him in the outfield. That's proven not to be great. Now, his hitting, he is batting over 280. And so that is something you could have had in the lineup. But where do you put him in this lineup? Now that you've gone ahead and you've made some other acquisitions and you put some other people in place, he's not going to take over for Arcia at short. That's never going to happen. So you might as well go ahead and deal it. So that's what they've done. And I just don't know that his performance has been great in the Puerto Rican League. So maybe the Braves just probably thought, you know what? We're tired of doing this. This is something we might as well go ahead and move on and make happen and get rid of Grissom. Grissom, 22 years of age, only 64 games with Atlanta. As I said, he was at that 280 mark as far as batting average, only 5 home runs. A lot of people thought he'd have a little bit more pop in his bat than what he did. Had 41 starts at second and 19 at short. And, of course, a lot of errors to go along with that. Sale, on the other hand, 34 years of age. So we're literally taking a guy that's much older with that 343 appearances that we talked about. But he has the potential with this lineup, if he stays healthy, which seems to be the biggest deal, health, that caveat, as Lindsay put it. You can catch that article, by the way, at Braves Today and bravestoday.com, as Lindsay has put up a couple already that kind of talks about what the pluses and minuses are as far as bringing Sale on board for the Braves. Once the money and all that is worked out, it looks like the Braves are probably only going to be paying $10.5 million. So you get a starting lefty for $10.5 million, who's been in Cy Young Award winning talks over the last 2012 through 2018, so for 6 straight years. He also is a guy that, when healthy, is pretty much dominant. So we will see what the health holes for sale, especially when you got a guy like Morton that got injured last year. You've got the continuing issues with Freed as far as his blister is concerned. You do have Sale, who has had a broken finger. Will that come back and haunt him? Also, that rib injury, as discussed before, he's had before. But I still say that this is a good deal because the Braves needed a pitcher. And if they can get 7-6 out of him, like it's being projected, or if they can get 8-5, or if they can even if you can get double-digit wins out of Chris Sale, this is well worth it. The $10.5 million for 2024, if you can get 10 wins out of him in 2024, this is by far a plus. So it's a final deal. It looks like Chris Sale headed to the Braves, Grissom going to the Red Sox. I'm sure all the ink has to be dry and all that before it all takes place. I think it's a win. There are some people that don't agree with that. They think they're getting an old man. I think the injury stuff has kind of put itself to the side. He got a lot of rest this past year, even though the record doesn't show it, but the lineup doesn't show it as well. So Chris Sale should flourish in a Braves uniform. Looks like he's going to be happy. Another one of those players, because he waived the no trade clause, another one of those players that may not be happy in the organization that he's in. So now he's going to come to the Braves, and Alex Anthopoulos pulls another one in the middle of the night that nobody knows about, nobody expected. Chris Sale was not on our radar. He was not on Braves Today radar. He's not been on any message boards. He's not been on any sort of social media platform that they talked about coming to the Braves. So then AA goes and pulls a fast one on everybody, does exactly what we ask him to do, which is get rid of Grissom so we can quit talking about him. And if Grissom goes on to the Red Sox and has an all-star career, good for him. That's exactly what we want him to do. But we also would love to see 10 wins out of Chris Sale. Little quick pod for you. We'll have more on this next week. I'll sit down with Lindsay and we'll have a complete breakdown, money-wise, what the Braves are doing, what they may be doing next now that they've got a pitcher in Chris Sale as far as a starter is concerned. And will they continue to still go after somebody since they are receiving that quote-unquote $17 million in cash for next year? They'll have a little bit to play with, so we'll see if that's a thing. It's all been brought to you by Active Wealth Management. Go to annuity360.net for your free book. Again, it's Braves Today, Braves_today on the Twitter, as well as BravesToday.com for all of our written work. For Braves Today, I'm Ben Taylor.